Welcome to Dr. Gao and Wei Yan.
Okay. Now you all know I am Dr. Gao from FiveTwenty. I'm CEO of FiveTwenty. For those you may not be familiar with FiveTwenty, we are a company help other companies with Cloud Foundry and Kubernetes. So please quickly look at the agenda for this talk. You may wonder how my dress, my favorite dress here, how my favorite dress connects to Cloud Foundry. So my favorite dress. I have worn this dress during many important moments throughout my career. So this is my first internship back to 2013 at Engineered. It's a pivotal experience, changed my career from academia to industry. Then in 2015, I joined Seguin. That's where I discovered my passion for Bosch and the CF. It has been more than 10 years. I'm not the type of the woman care about fashion that much, but after a decade passed by, I start to think, I want that dress, but I don't want that dress. I want something new. And then comes to my favorite platform. My career started with Bosch, Conquers, Cloud Foundry, and all that. Like you feel very happy when you make out-the-box green in the pipelines. And then I have had the privilege to help different type and size companies build and run and maintain their CF at a large scale. So I had the chance to work what's on the screen you can see now, and but not limited to those. And I got to see the difference and the similarity for their ops team, apps team, network team, security team, and all that. We were able to tailor our service based on their need and their team structure. But it has been more than a decade since OCF being open sourced back to 2011. That's actually the year I came here. Not here, US. So now we hear some people start saying, I want CF, but I don't want CF, because we have to explore something new. So what we are going to do? Now you see how it connects, like me with my dress, and some people company with the CF. Similar struggle. I want it, but I don't want it. But what's the decision? I'm going to keep it. But you don't just keep it. You have to do something. For my dress, it's easy. If I go to a professional client meeting, you will see I'll wear the business coat on top, all professional. If I'm going to an afternoon tea with my lady friends, I put a fur coat on it, and I was able to keep my favorite dress and upgrade it. But to keep a CF is not as simple as with what I do with my dress. But the good thing is, I'm the only one really care about my dress, but we have the whole community care about the CF. So we don't just keep it. Now you see, lots of people try Kubernetes, but they don't get rid of CF. They run them side by side, and then in each busy season or each upgrade, they monitor the performance, they compare, they collect the data, and they reflect. We have heard several companies, mainly our clients, what hiccups. Did I say it right? But you get what I mean. For Kubernetes. And I think it will take some time. People gather those data and do the analysis, figure out what's really is for them, and especially when those performance or data start to reflect in their business value, how fast they can go to market, how cost effective it is, that's where people really settle down and balance their decision on platform. So we should just wait and see. No, that's not us. That's not what I know about this community. We don't wait and see. We contribute and see, right? Everyone here contributed in a certain way. People are not here also contributed in a certain way. When Julian from Aniline this morning, he said, we need to invest in Cloud Foundry. I believe he means it, because the Stratos update earlier, you see that. They really mean it. So we will contribute and see. Time will give you the answer. So next, we will cover 3 aspects from our own experience and our contribution, and also this is really from us working with different size company, like a middle-sized company to top Fortune company. First, I want to briefly touch about the CF ecosystem maturity. It doesn't need to say CF has established its stability, and lots of tools and the service are developed by different companies, different contributors. We have a strong community. We all say future belongs to next generation. When we have a 4-year-old attendee at this conference, that means something. So I'm very confident about the future of this community. CF has showed its adaptability to work alongside with Kubernetes. There Korefi earlier in the day of the talk, so I enjoyed that. And then certainly CF has been keep vendor agnostic. You don't need to worry about login. Those are only my top 5 I listed. But if you look, actually there's lots of other reasons why people still run lots of production large-scale workload in Cloud Foundry. Second is about customization. So quite often it comes down to the cost and also what it gains when people run it. So we have been developed tools that help a company run CF in large scale more efficiently, and you can manage your whole life cycle with upgrades, secret management, and all that. This is actively used even today, and also for the next 3 or 5 years or longer. Don't ask me how I know it, because they signed a contract with us. So they are really running large scale in the enterprise large scale CF environment. And then for the service part, we developed a Blacksmith service broker. It offers Rabbit, Redis, PostgreSQL, SQL, and the most popular one are Rabbit, Redis, and PostgreSQL. And then for backup and restore, the BBR are not flexible enough for our client. So we use Shield, which can back up and restore Bosch CF and also lots of services. More importantly, it solves a chicken-egg problem. Shield can back up itself. And then when really, if doomsday come, Shield, you can recover Shield first and then recover everything else. So those are our contributions to the community. The last one, we have to talk something hot, because when we integrate CF, which is stable but not new, if we integrate with something new, I believe it will bring more attention, more shiny. So next, welcome Wei-Yin Seguin to talk about that part. Thank you.
So I guess this is the part where I start talking about AI-enhanced dress outfits, and with the fluffy outfits too for Cloud Foundry. I think that's appropriate here, right? So just a quick brainstorm. This is all this is just a quick brainstorm. It's like, okay, well, we got application developers, we got service providers, we got operations, security, networking, and business. And so we had this brainstorm, and we're like, okay, well, I'm sure we're missing a bunch of stuff, but these are kind of like all the different areas of operating a platform that we kind of end up actually being involved with and touching and helping to shape and guide and all those things, and learning and evolving and adapting. And I think almost all of these are like kind of a little crazy complex. So that was a good brainstorm. And then we figured, like, hey, you know, what can you do with AI and Cloud Foundry? Well, let's figure out what the opportunities might be, and then go from there. And then the key question is, where do we have the need to process complex interactions and/or data? Because that's one area that is definitely much better suited to leveraging LLMs and AI-based technologies. Obviously, there's caveats to that, but it truly is far more effective at parsing through large data sets than we are, especially complex interactions and things like that, and then producing usable, once you've tested it and figured it out, the patterns, usable actual outputs from that. So most of these areas have things that take us humans, you know, months or years to actually piece together enough information to actually take actionable insights on these things and evolve things in some directions. Well, I think that is really great for, hey, where can we use AI? Okay, that was a fun brainstorm, and it's like, all right, we got these kinds of areas, and I'm sure there's more. We can like expand the circle, and that's cool. So I thought I was done. Super excited that we got all this new opportunity for breathing new life and enhancing the Cloud Foundry that we know and love with actual, like, breaking technologies that bring a new tool to the arsenal to actually evolve and operate applications effectively. And I'm hoping that some of these also impact the developer experience and just take that way to the next level as well. So that's cool. And then 2 weeks ago, I was approached by a certain Dr. Gao, and who said, hey, we need to do one of these and do a demo of it for the CF Day EU, so pick one. What? So, yeah. Where to start? No idea. But there is one thing that is a common theme, and it comes right actually from, I think, even the previous SAP discussion about, like, hey, how can we save on costs and stuff like that? Well, you know, I'm sure a lot of you on your minds are like, oh yeah, well, let's use AI to determine exact scaling for how big we need these things and action tuning and all those things. That's an obvious one, right? So I agree. So SAP is right, scaling for cost, but also other reasons. So basically, scaling itself, when done well, involves a very heavy analysis of, you got to look at all the metrics, the events, the thresholds. Of course, we always usually just kind of look at a few graphs and do a gut check and then, yeah, scale it, and without any actual evaluation of that. So yeah, scaling is one possible question to how can we enhance our Cloud Foundry platform with this great new tool that we have in our arsenal. One possible answer. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of possible answers. So, introducing an idea that we kind of prototyped a whole lot of already. I just called it ACE, Autonomous Scaling Engine. ACE sounds cool, so we went with it. And then everybody's like, wait, what? Well, ACE is an AI-enhanced system designed to revolutionize scaling systems, starting with Cloud Foundry deployments and applications. That's the executive summary. This is the nerd summary. So don't worry about the diagram. It's got a bunch of arrows and blocks and stuff like that. What's actually kind of more important is it's kind of built with this idea of being a framework that can be extensible, leveraging a plug-in model. And I think I'm getting ahead of my slides here. So it actually has this idea of collecting data, loading data. Those are separated for performance and scaling reasons so that they can be scaled separately. There's a scheduler. So you can actually schedule the scaling of different workloads at different intervals and from different sources and targets. And then there's the scalers themselves. And then there's decisions, that's where the LLMs come into process, and then notifications for like, hey, when these happen, a scaling event happens, send a notification to Slack or email-based or Teams or whatever you happen to be using. So again, quick summary of what I just said. General purpose autoscaling framework engine. It allows for metrics collection and aggregation for a reason that I'll get to in a bit. Scaling events tracking, and then the LLMs for data is for, now here's why we're collecting the data. The LLMs are for data processing historical metrics and scaling events, both. So we're going to not only feed in the data of like here as how this particular thing you're looking at tracking to scale has measured over time for a set of measurements, we're also going to say, and here's the scaling events that we have also decided on, so that we can also analyze, okay, did we make good decisions in the past or not, and based on those, how are we going to implement this? And then there's also some customization and thresholds, but that's getting too into the weeds. But the key here is that it's plugins based, extendable. So it's a generic framework that facilitates scaling horizontally and can target via plugins multiple different kinds of systems, and then aggregate the metrics and make these decisions based on that. So obviously we are a Cloud Foundry community, so and us primarily Cloud Foundry first company. So we are implementing the engine framework is our first goal, which is nearly complete. The Bosch plugin, we are in the middle of implementing that right now. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself again, but yeah. So our goals are to do a Bosch plugin to scale one or more Bosch deployments, VMs, and also Cloud Foundry to scale one or more CF applications. Specifically, if you want to target multiple Cloud Foundry environments or foundations, we want to enable that too, if you need a centralized thing. So this is kind of the quick checklist of what we've implemented so far and where we're at with it. I did not make the under 2-week deadline for a demo. It actually does run, but I'm still getting it to talk correctly to the Bosch director, which will be very soon, and then testing out the actual LLMs to see what kind of sanity we got to put into that, the prompting and everything. But this is basically where we're at with this. We've got the whole framework kind of nearly complete. It's got a lot of great features to it, respecting logging and signals and concurrency, all these different things, the loaders, the scalers, the collectors, scheduler, all of that basically starts up in using concurrent systems and can scale up and down based on that. And then, so the plugin base is literally configuration, which is generic, collector, loader, scaler. So basically, you would create a plugin for how you want to implement your system to scaling your system. So yeah, sure, we're going to be targeting Cloud Foundry Diego cells first, and we're also going to be targeting Cloud Foundry applications second. But even if like we implement it one way, you could literally go ahead and grab it, tweak it, use your own plugin basically to target that and or other systems. I mean, there's nothing stopping anybody. There's nothing unique to this where we couldn't make sure that we've got metrics schema buttoned down enough where you could literally target Kubernetes systems or whatever else. Like maybe you want to be able to point this at many Kubernetes clusters for scaling whatever. This is the idea is to have this generic and plugin base so that you can do exactly that. Yeah, so I'm going to, just like the gauntlet was thrown down at me 2 weeks ago, like, hey, try to do something with this. and I tried, and it's pretty close now. I'm actually going to turn this back on all of you, and I'm going to kind of reinforce hey, this is a great renaissance that we're going through today. Julian said really well earlier about investing in the community, and we are, as small as a company as we are trying to also do the same thing and be good citizens to the best of our ability. And I'm going to literally challenge you all to do the same thing. I'm going to throw the gauntlet down. Yeah. And yeah, so we're accessorizing CF. What about you? What are you doing? Huh? anyways, so FiveTwenty, we're doing that right now. We're all about long-term healthy relationships, and we, come talk to us. You can experience our expertise firsthand, and there's our little QR code. And I think that's it for me. Thanks. Cheers.